I talk to myself in English every day. In my room, alone, I can have full conversations. I describe my day. I practice phrases. I sound fluent, confident, clear. But then someone asks me a question in real life, a simple question, and my mind goes blank. My mouth won't move. I forget how to speak.
Hey everyone, I'm Adam.
And I'm Maya.
And if what Maya just said sounds familiar, this conversation is for you. Because this is one of the most common problems I see. People who can speak English alone, perfectly, but the moment there's another person, they freeze.
And it's so frustrating because you know you can speak, you've proven it to yourself, but something changes when someone is watching.
So today, we're going to figure out why this happens, the real psychological reasons, not surface-level stuff. We're going deep.
And more importantly, we're going to give you solutions, real, practical ways to fix this.
So stick with us. By the end of this conversation, you'll understand yourself better, and you'll know exactly what to do.
Okay, Adam, let's start with the big question. Why does this happen? Why can I speak alone but not with people?
There are 5 main reasons, and they're all connected. Let's go through them one by one. Before we continue, I want to say something. If you're experiencing this problem, you're not alone. Thousands of people feel this way.
And the fact that you're here, trying to understand it and fix it, that's huge. Most people just avoid the problem.
So if you're ready to face this and grow, hit that subscribe button right now.
Because this channel is for people who want real growth, not quick fixes, real, deep growth.
Subscribe, and let's figure this out together.
All right, Adam, reason number 1.
Reason 1 is called the observer effect. When someone is watching you, your behavior changes.
What do you mean?
When you're alone, you're free. No one is judging you. No one is listening. So you just speak. You don't think about how you sound. But the moment another person appears, you become aware of yourself. You start thinking, how do I sound? Am I making mistakes? What are they thinking?
So you're watching yourself while you speak.
Exactly. And that split attention destroys fluency, because half your brain is speaking and half your brain is judging.
Oh my God, I do this. When I'm alone, I just speak. But when someone is there, I'm constantly monitoring myself. Did I say that right? Was my grammar correct? Did they understand?
And what happens?
I stumble, I hesitate, I lose my train of thought. Because I'm not focused on communicating, I'm focused on being perfect.
Here's what's happening in your brain. When you're alone, you're using your automatic language system. It's smooth, it's fast, it's natural.
Okay.
But when you become self-conscious, you switch to your conscious language system. You start analyzing every word before you say it, and that's slow, that's clunky. It's like learning to ride a bike. When you're a beginner, you think about every movement, turn the handlebars, pedal, balance. It's hard.
But once you learn, you don't think, you just ride.
Exactly. But if I ask you to ride a bike while explaining exactly how you're doing it, you'll struggle, because you're making it conscious again. So the observer effect makes you conscious of something that should be automatic, and that breaks your flow.
So what's the fix? How do I stop being self-conscious?
We'll get to the solutions, but first, let's understand all 5 reasons, because they're connected. Reason 2. When you speak with another person, it feels like a test, like you're being evaluated.
Even if they're not judging me?
Even if they're not judging you, your brain treats it like a test, because there's a risk now, the risk of being misunderstood, the risk of looking stupid. When you're alone, there's no risk. You can make all the mistakes you want, no consequences, so you feel safe.
But with another person, every word matters.
Every word matters, because if you make a mistake, they might not understand. They might ask you to repeat. They might look confused. And your brain hates that, so it puts pressure on you. It says, don't mess this up. Speak correctly. Be clear. Don't make mistakes.
And that pressure makes it harder to speak.
That pressure makes it way harder because you're carrying this weight, this expectation, and it's exhausting.
I felt this so strongly once. I was at a cafe and I wanted to order something. In my head, I practiced the sentence. I knew exactly what to say.
But
But when the barista looked at me, waiting for my order, I panicked. Suddenly, it felt like everyone in the cafe was watching me, like this was a test, and I froze.
what happened?
I just pointed at the menu. I couldn't speak. And afterwards, I was so frustrated because I could have said it. I knew the words, but the pressure was too much.
That's so common. And here's what you need to understand. The pressure isn't real. Nobody at that cafe was judging you, but your brain created the pressure anyway.
So it's all in my head?
It's all in your head. The pressure is self-imposed, and that's actually good news, because if you created it, you can also remove it.
How?
We'll get to that, but first, reason 3. Reason 3, when you speak alone, you control everything. You control the topic, the pace, the words. It's predictable.
Right. I decide what to talk about.
Exactly. But real conversations are unpredictable. The other person might ask you a question you didn't expect. They might change the topic suddenly. They might use words you don't know. And your brain doesn't like unpredictability. It likes control. So when you lose control, you panic.
That's exactly what happens. When someone asks me something unexpected, my mind goes completely blank.
Here's why. When you practice alone, you're rehearsing. You're following a script in your head. And rehearsed language is easy because you know what's coming next.
But real conversations don't have scripts.
Real conversations don't have scripts. They're spontaneous, dynamic. You have to think on your feet. And that's a completely different skill. It's like the difference between reading a speech and having a debate. Reading a speech is easy. You just follow the words on the page. But a debate, you have to listen, think, and respond in real time.
So speaking alone doesn't prepare me for the chaos of real conversation.
It helps, but it's not enough because you're not practicing spontaneity. You're practicing control. So the unpredictability of real conversations triggers fear because you don't know what's coming and your brain wants certainty.
Okay, so that's 3 reasons: self-consciousness, performance pressure, and unpredictability. What's reason 4?
Reason 4 is about stakes, and this one is psychological. Reason 4, when you speak with real people, the stakes are real. Your mistakes have consequences.
What kind of consequences?
Social consequences. If you make a mistake, the person might not understand you. They might get frustrated. They might think you're not smart. They might judge your accent. Now, most of these consequences are in your head. Most people are kind. They won't judge you. But your brain doesn't know that. Your brain treats every conversation like a potential threat.
A threat?
A social threat. Humans are social creatures. We need to belong. We need to be accepted. So our brain is always scanning for rejection. And when you speak English with someone, your brain thinks, what if they reject me? What if they think I'm stupid? What if they laugh at my mistake?
Even though that probably won't happen?
Even though that probably won't happen, but the fear is real because rejection hurts. It's one of our deepest fears.
I had a moment like this. I was in a meeting at work, everyone was speaking English, and I wanted to share an idea, but I was so scared of saying it wrong.
What were you scared of?
I was scared they would think my idea was stupid because I couldn't express it well, or they would focus on my grammar instead of my idea.
So the stakes felt high.
The stakes felt huge. This was my job, my reputation. So I stayed quiet, even though I had something valuable to say.
And that's the problem with real stakes. They silence you. They make you choose safety over growth. So those are 4 reasons: self-consciousness, performance pressure, unpredictability, and real stakes. But there's one more, And this one is the most important. Reason 5. You can't speak with people because you've never practiced speaking with people.
Wait, that sounds obvious, but explain more.
Okay, think about it. If you only practice alone, you're training one skill: solo speaking, controlled speaking, rehearsed speaking.
Right.
But speaking with people is a different skill. It requires listening, reacting, adapting, handling interruptions, reading social cues. And if you never practice those skills, of course you'll struggle. It's like training for swimming by studying swimming theory. You understand the concept, but you can't actually swim.
So, speaking alone is necessary but not sufficient.
Exactly. It's necessary. It builds your vocabulary, your pronunciation, your confidence. But it's not sufficient because real conversations require different muscles. Here's another analogy. Imagine you want to play tennis, so you practice hitting a ball against a wall every day for months. You get really good at hitting the ball against the wall.
But then you play against a real person?
You lose badly because hitting a ball against a wall is not the same as playing tennis. The wall doesn't move, it doesn't hit back, it doesn't try to trick you. Speaking alone is like hitting a ball against a wall. It's good practice, but it's not the real game.
So, I need to practice the real game.
You need to practice the real game. And that means speaking with real people, even if it's uncomfortable.
Okay, so those are the 5 reasons: self-consciousness, performance pressure, unpredictability, real stakes, and lack of real practice.
Those are the 5 reasons, and they all work together. They create a perfect storm that makes speaking with people feel impossible.
So, what do we do? How do we fix this?
That's what we're going to talk about next. 5 solutions, one for each reason. Solution 1 is about fixing the self-consciousness problem. And the solution is simple but powerful. Stop focusing on yourself, start focusing on the other person.
How do I do that?
When you're in a conversation, your natural instinct is to think about yourself. How do I sound? Am I making mistakes? What are they thinking of me? But if you flip that, if you focus on them, everything changes.
What do you mean by focus on them?
Focus on understanding them, really listening to what they're saying, trying to help them feel heard, making sure they understand you. When your focus is outward, you forget about yourself. You stop being self-conscious because you're too busy caring about the other person.
That's actually beautiful. It's about connection, not performance.
Exactly. Communication is about connection, not perfection. Here's a practical exercise. Next time you speak with someone, before you start, tell yourself, my job is to make sure they feel heard. My job is to understand them.
Shift from what do they think of me to do they feel understood?
Exactly. That mental shift is everything because it takes the pressure off you and puts it on the connection.
I want to try this. It feels like it would make conversations less scary.
It does, because you're not performing anymore. You're connecting. Solution 2 fixes the performance pressure, and it's about changing your definition of success.
What do you mean?
Right now, you probably define success as speaking perfectly. No mistakes, no pauses, clear and fluent. But that's an impossible standard. Even native speakers make mistakes. They pause. They say and They forget words.
So perfect isn't realistic.
Perfect isn't realistic. So if that's your standard, you'll always feel like you're failing, and that pressure will paralyze you. So here's the new definition of success. Success is trying. Success is opening your mouth and speaking, even if it's messy, even if you make mistakes.
Just trying is success?
Just trying is success, because most people don't even try. They stay silent. So if you speak, you're already winning. Here's what I tell my students. Before you speak, say this to yourself. My goal is not to be perfect. My goal is to communicate. If they understand me, I succeeded.
So the bar for success is understanding, not perfection.
Exactly. And most of the time, people will understand you, even with mistakes, even with an accent, even with pauses.
This is so freeing, because I've been judging myself by an impossible standard.
Most learners do, and it destroys their confidence. So lower the standard, make success achievable, and watch your confidence grow. Solution 3 is about handling unpredictability. And the way to do that is to practice in low-stakes situations.
What's a low-stakes situation?
A conversation that doesn't matter, where if you mess up, there are no consequences. For example, ordering coffee, asking for directions, chatting with a cashier. These conversations are short, simple, and if you make a mistake, you'll never see that person again.
So there's no pressure.
There's no pressure, which makes them perfect for practice, because you're dealing with real unpredictability, but without high stakes. Here's what I want you to do. This week, have 5 low-stakes conversations, 5 tiny interactions where you speak English with a stranger.
5 conversations with strangers?
5. They don't have to be long. 30 seconds is fine. Just practice starting conversations. Practice handling the unpredictability. And here's what will happen. The first conversation will be scary. The second one will be a little easier. By the 5th one, you'll start to feel comfortable.
Because I'm building the skill of spontaneous conversation.
Exactly. You're training your brain to handle the chaos, the unexpected questions, the fast responses. And low-stakes situations are the safest place to learn.
Think of it like this. You're learning to swim in the shallow end before you go to the deep end. Low-stakes conversations are your shallow end.
And once you're comfortable there, I can move to harder conversations. Once you're comfortable there, high-stakes conversations will feel less scary because you've already proven to yourself that you can handle it. Solution 5 is psychological. It's about dealing with the real stakes. And the solution is to separate your worth from your English.
What does that mean?
It means your English level doesn't define who you are. You're not a bad person if you make a mistake. You're not stupid if someone doesn't understand you. But most learners tie their English to their identity. They think, if my English is bad, I'm bad. If I make mistakes, I'm a failure.
And that makes every conversation feel like my whole identity is on the line.
Exactly. Every conversation becomes about proving your worth, and that's way too much pressure. So here's the truth you need to internalize. You are worthy regardless of your English level. Your value as a human being is not determined by your grammar.
I know that logically, but emotionally, it's hard to believe.
It is hard because society ties language to intelligence, but you need to reject that. You need to say, my English is a skill I'm developing. It's not who I am. Here's an exercise. Before you speak with someone, remind yourself, I am more than my English. My worth is not on trial here. I'm just practicing a skill.
So I'm taking the emotional stakes out of it.
You're taking the emotional stakes out. And when you do that, the fear decreases because you're not risking your identity. You're just practicing a language.
This is powerful. I need to remind myself of this every day.
You do, because this is the root of the fear. You think speaking English is about you, but it's not. It's just a tool, a skill. Nothing more. Solution 5 is the most practical. It's about training for real conversations. And I'm going to give you a step-by-step plan. Level 1. Keep speaking alone. This is your foundation. 10 minutes a day. Talk about anything. This builds your vocabulary and pronunciation.
So I don't stop speaking alone.
You don't stop, but you add to it. Because speaking alone is not enough. It's the beginning, not the end. Level 2. Record yourself having a fake conversation. Pretend someone asked you a question. Answer it out loud. Record it, then listen back.
Why record it?
Because when you listen back, you hear yourself differently. You notice your mistakes. You hear your pauses. It's like watching yourself in a mirror. And this bridges the gap because you're still alone, so it's safe, but you're simulating real conversation. You're practicing spontaneous answers. Level 3. We already talked about this. 5 low-stakes conversations a week. Strangers, short interactions. Build your comfort with unpredictability. Level 4. Once you're comfortable with low stakes, move to medium stakes. Join an online language exchange. Find a study partner. These are longer, more unpredictable, but still relatively safe.
So I'm gradually increasing the difficulty.
You're gradually increasing the difficulty. Like lifting weights. You start light, then you add more weight. Level 5. This is the goal. High-stakes situations. Work meetings, important conversations, social events. These matter. But by the time you get here, you'll be ready.
Because I built up to it.
Because you built up to it. You didn't jump from speaking alone to high-stakes conversations. You took steps, and each step built confidence. How long does this take? It depends. But if you follow this plan consistently, you could move through all 5 levels in 3 to 6 months.
That's faster than I thought.
It's faster because you're being strategic. You're not just hoping to get better, you're systematically building the skill.
Okay, everyone. We just went deep. 5 reasons why you can speak alone but not with people, and 5 solutions.
Let's review the solutions quickly.
Solution 1. Focus outward, not inward. Make it about connection, not performance.
Solution 2. Redefine success. Success is trying, not being perfect.
Solution 3. Practice low-stakes conversations. Build comfort with unpredictability.
Solution 4. Separate your worth from your English. You're more than your mistakes.
Solution 5. Follow the 5-level plan. Bridge the gap systematically.
Here's what I want you to do today, right now. Go speak alone for 5 minutes, then answer this question out loud. What am I afraid of when I speak with people?
And record your answer. Listen to yourself. Be honest.
Because awareness is the first step. Once you know your fear, you can face it.
You can do this. Speaking with people is a skill, and skills can be learned.
You're not broken. You're not bad at English. You just haven't trained for this yet, but you will.
If this conversation helped you, leave a comment. Tell us what you're afraid of. We want to support you.
And subscribe for more deep conversations like this. We're here every week. Before we go,
Take care of your heart.
you're doing better than you think.
Bye, everyone.
See you next time.